welcome to the what's this called again? No Holds Barred Witchcraft Podcast. Hello, Liam.
That that is it. Yes, well done. Was it that bad?
I hate it. I really hate it. It just doesn't flow off my tongue.
But why? Why don't you like it? Is it the
It doesn't
name? Is it the
flow. It doesn't
branding?
flow off. It doesn't flow off my tongue.
Okay. Right. Are you going to tell us what this episode is about?
This episode is Magic in a Box.
Magic in a box. That's
Yeah.
intriguing. What are you meaning by magic in a box? Why have you labelled it that, Chris?
So magic is a box in a box in a box in a box is about, can you learn magic from one of these witchcraft boxes? Which is interesting because our lovely people on Witchcraft Live were slagging them off last week. Do you remember?
Oh, that was a specific case of something on Etsy, wasn't it? With
Yeah,
pentagrams
it
on
was
it.
one of
Because
these.
you've always got pentagrams. You've always got items with pentagrams on in these Etsy sellers, witches starter kits, haven't you?
Yeah, one of these starter kits it's got to have like a fake little cauldron and a little cleanser, and lots of pentagrams on everything, and obviously a candle of every colour.
Okay,
Uh,
so by naming this episode Witchcraft in a Box, are you insinuating obviously you can't really learn witchcraft from stuff in a box?
no, I'm just saying that I don't really agree with these starter kits. The ones that have got 300 items in it, and they sell the idea that that's all you need to start off witchcraft. Um, I'm not kind of saying it's. What I'm saying is I don't agree with those. I don't think those are necessary. I don't see why you would spend kind of £200 on a starter kit, knowing half of it's come from AliExpress. Like, do you know what I mean?
China,
But
basically.
which means it's all been produced in China. Has got all sorts of nasty chemicals in the candles that you're about to burn in your house. Um, when actually, what all you really need is either a really good teacher, or to just start small. You don't need a kit
Okay,
that size to get started.
right.
Obviously, I'm not knocking the beautiful boxes that we do, but
I was
those
gonna
are
say
specific.
because you're saying you don't need a kit to get started, but you sell kits on the Thoth Witchcraft website that are literally intro to this, that, and the other.
Yeah, but we sell intros to a specific type of magic. So the idea is that you actually get a feel for something that you're starting with. It's a mini project. It's cheap a cheap kit to buy. What I'm having an issue with is the £300 kit that sell you the idea that that's everything you'll ever need.
But if this a starter kit, then surely it's not selling you the idea of that's everything you should need. The ones that I've seen tend to be like altar starter kits, particularly, or the starter kits for witchcraft insinuate that you need to have an altar and a fucking little unsharpened blade of some description. And I think that implication's worse for me because it makes you think like witchcraft is just a group of iconic tools. Which, to be fair, modern witchcraft is. The iconic tools within modern witchcraft, of course, are the people that write for Llewellyn, because they are tools in every sense of the word, and they're the
Yeah.
public faces of witchcraft. Obviously, you have traditional type tools of objects, such as cauldrons and like, that people often do also associate with witchcraft, but very often I think nowadays, when I imagine witchcraft, I imagine pagan, and when I imagine pagan, I imagine someone with a little bit too much adipose tissue in a bed sheet.
No, I get that. I suppose the reason I'm kind of attacking these, it's the sheer cost of them. When you know that kit has been made for like £20 because the quality of the shit that's in it.
I thought they were like 20, 30 quid to buy though, weren't they? Aren't they that much on Etsy? How much are they?
No, they're like £100, silly, £200-300. Because if you remember rightly, before we started selling the boxes that we sell, I did extensive research on what everybody else is doing. Do you remember? And I was disgusted at
I thought I
the
saw a
crap that was
spreadsheet
in them.
somewhere.
So, well, you know you love a spreadsheet.
So, officially, you are saying that one can learn magic from a box?
I'm saying that there are some great boxes that we sell that actually.
Oh my god. You see, at least I'd just admit that, yeah, there's boxes of magical things on the website that we basically, everything that doesn't sell from the previous year, cram into them and sell it at a discounted rate in a nice little tin or something like that, and then write some instructions with various different magical methods and the like you could use, but I'm not pretending like anything that we have put on there is going to teach you witchcraft in its entirety.
Well, neither did I. Don't put words in my mouth, Liam.
I thought that was the format of the show.
You know for a fact that's not what I just said. You know exactly that's not what I just said. What I just said is there are very specific types of magic that could be taught by the boxes that we sell. And they're designed to do exactly that. And actually, you're talking about the kind of little tins, the really, really cheap options, where we throw those together easy peasy. But the actual intro kits that we sell are actually designed to give you an idea and actually include our version of those sorts of things.
These things with the books that come with the colour-coded books in them?
Yeah.
And I got this one. I was drawn to the one with the black cover, which says, what's this one? Box of Maleficence. So a box of black magic. Yeah. Black magic intro kit. Okay.
But let's face it, the example I would give, Liam, rather than the one that you've just happened to reach for, the example I would use is the love kit, where you put that beautiful pair of skulls kissing as a candle in there.
Which may not be in every kit.
Any Etsy shop
so
anywhere.
Please be aware that whenever you buy one of these box of kits, then you don't always receive the same items. Because, Chris, the box of range was literally what we've got an overabundance of in stock. I was just going to shove in a box. You see? You're talking about the intro courses. Aren't you? Like the medieval magic ones. The ones we put a lot of effort into.
I'm talking about how any kit that you bought from us is going to have a very Thoth feel to them, is what I'm saying. Is that actually what comes in that box will be something that is crafted by ourselves. It's not like the actual intro kits, and you can buy all sorts of subscription boxes now. The kind of witchy subscription box is a thing that's done by almost every website that sells witchy paraphernalia. But what they tend to be made up of is shit you can buy from China. Kitschy little
okay. Whereas our stuff all
those
comes
horrid little bags I can't
all
stand.
Our stuff comes from India, which makes it better.
Why do you say shit like that, Liam? When you know that's not the case?
No, I know that you stay up till late at night making this lovely stuff that we then cram in a box and charge a fee for, which is so unbelievably low that really someone that buys something from this website really is robbing us.
Exactly. So when you say shit like that, that completely discredits all the work that I put in to make this shit happen. Which makes me want to reach through the screen and cut you.
Now.
And you're
I don't think
lucky.
there's any need
You're
for
lucky.
violence.
You're lucky that you're not sat next to me, because I would be kicking you in the shins right now.
Would you really lower yourself to being violent, Chris? I always felt that you
Yes, I
thought you were
would.
above such things.
Because you've started treating this show like it's Fausty, and it's really starting to get on my wick.
The Fausty Witches show is being cancelled, and I do need an outlet for all of my therapy sessions.
Well, then you need to find a new outlet. I thought your little occult ramblings was enough for you to talk shit for 45 minutes every week. I didn't think you were going to lower the tone of the beautiful No Holds Barred Witchcraft podcast. Like, why would you do this to me? This is where all the serious witches come to listen.
Okay. Now, Chris, would you describe yourself as a capitalist?
I'm not a well, yes, to a certain extent. It depends. I believe in quality craftsmanship.
Okay. Do you believe in giving quality craftsmanship a quality premium price? Or do you feel that, how do you come up with what you'd consider to be quality craftsmanship, and how would you arrive at a price? Because obviously you've been involved in many different types of craft. So the £10 box, how much does that equate to in terms of quality? What could someone equate that with? And are you short selling it or not?
I don't think we charge enough for what goes in our boxes. You know that's how I feel about it. Because when you compare to what other places are selling, for their premium price, is stuff that they don't make themselves. I'm not saying that there aren't lots of incredible shops out there, because there are, but they sell individual products, and they specialise in, say, candles or incense or whatever. But when obviously we decided to do Thoth, the original idea was to do everything that everybody else does, but better.
Was actually the idea, wasn't it?
Whereas like, we don't.
Look at all of this shite on Etsy. Come on, someone could do a better job than that. Oh, no one's doing it. I suppose we should do it. But I do take your point. I mean, there is a lot of work that goes into every bespoke item that we make, and I can tell you that there's a hell of a lot of energy that goes into creating those hex curse seals that we put on every box. You know, the ones that you cut open to open the box that you trigger the curse with. There's a hell of a lot of energy that goes into being channeled into every one of those.
I swear you're trying to sabotage all the money. Is it just because you don't want to spend the time packing shit? Is that what this is about?
You've caught me out.
You hate the trips to the post office. Is that your problem?
I can't stand the trips to the post office. I tell you what, I've just had an accident, right? I've only got 2 to package up today. One, I basically fucked up the oil and it went fucking everywhere. And as a lot of people know, I've got a cold at the moment. What did I do? I mopped it up with a tissue. What did I do literally at the start of this podcast? Obviously, I picked up the tissue thinking it was mine and wiped my nose in it. God knows how many herbs it's got in it and all sorts of crazy shit. I mean, henbane's not that poisonous in oil form, is it, Chris? So maybe we can blame my misbehavings on that I'm currently under the influence of a necromancy potion. At least I think that's what it was.
I don't think that's a good enough excuse, Liam, to be quite frank. I think you should not be sabotaging our sales by talking shit.
Okay.
So the idea that you can learn magic in its entirety. Okay, going back to that. Obviously, a lot of these kits that people sell don't aim to actually, teach you how to use them. What they are is gift sets. or starter packs where they've just got all the tools and things that you might need.
Puzzles,
Obviously,
Chris. They're normally puzzles. The
puzzles.
intro ranges that really have been designed to kind of be puzzles. You get a bunch of stuff, and you're like, okay, there's a bunch of stuff in this box, but I don't really fucking know what any of it is. And then slowly, by working through the little booklet and trying different things, you start to, learn a little bit about all of these different things and the like. Because the difference between
Yes,
our box and that
that's
is
what
that,
ours do.
yeah, that's what ours do. But the others is basically like, well, I've got this unsharpened blade. I suppose I could use it to open envelopes with. But to be fair, my envelope opening knife is a lot sharper. So maybe I'll just put it on the side. Or I could go to one of those famous standing stone circles once a year at the solstice. Obviously once a year. There are 2 solstices in a year. But I wouldn't go to the winter one because, well, it's too cold. So I just go to the summer one and wave it about in the air when all the other people are doing magical things. That's what I imagine the people that buy kits from Amazon and Etsy kind of do. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've just been doing this for too long and I'm kind of cynical.
I'm not. I'm not going to be on. To be honest, I don't. I think you're giving them too much credit. I think most of the people that buy these starter kits put them all pretty on a shelf and never actually light the buggers. Is
Oh, the candles and that.
Yeah, actually, might say a little blessing and light an appropriately coloured candle according to Scott Cunningham, and that might be the most they ever do. Um, but partly I think that's because they don't come with instructions, and they don't actually give you any kind of idea how to use them.
Oh, they
Bearing in
do. They
mind
come with a
those.
little booklet that's on nice glossy paper that's got a spell, and the spell happens to involve putting all of the ingredients that came in the box in a dish and lighting the fucking candle in the middle of it while saying your affirmations. Please work, please work. I know that's what you say in your head, isn't it? Out loud you would say, "Oh, bring me money, great goddess." Insert name here, depending on which box you picked, obviously. I mean, the ingredients are always the same, but the goddess changes depending on which box you choose. Oh, Bridget, please bring me the love of my life. Because we all know that Bridget specialises in that.
Yes, if you want your potential new lover to be reforged and sent to you after being reforged, then yes, go to Bridget. Bridget will
Oh, I
really
don't know.
help you with
Many of
that.
the women that approach me for private work often do want their husbands and partners reforged. They like a fixer-upper, I've noticed they do like a
Okay.
fixer-upper. They get the bad boy, and then they want him to not be that bad anymore. But I have
Okay.
also noticed that when he ain't that bad anymore, they cheat on him with another bad boy. Because it's the bad stuff that the client's attracted to. When there ain't no bad anymore, then they just become a husband. I know I'm generalising an awful lot here, but I can literally read off literally like an entire client list of this actually happening before. So there are a lot of sad, lonely men and women out there that think they know what they want and will approach a witch or a hoodoo practitioner because hoodoo practitioners will take the money no matter what, won't they?
Well, hoodoo is all about peddling that kind of behaviour. It's about fixing, finding, or at least that's how what the modern lot do. The old lot are either heal or fuck 'em up.
Well, they were a bit more like traditional cunning folk, really, aren't they?
Yeah. Whereas the modern lot, it's all about the love spell and the honey jars and the sugar something.
You mean the £300 candle spell? And then if that doesn't work, literally they say, well, you should have picked the ultimate one, which is the £1,300 candle spell. And a lot of the clients will think, oh, yes, you're right. Of course, if it didn't work, I should have got the more powerful one. That makes complete sense.
So I'm not sure what I could do with that. I know that's going slightly off topic, but I'm not sure I could, I know I do occasionally, but they pay big bucks in order to actually get me to use it. I'd much rather they deal with the spell working.
Well,
If they're
if they
spell
do
working,
think that remortgaging their house so that they can pay you to do the work yourself, you do the work for them, is the way to go, then by all means they can do that. But yeah, generally for most people it's learning how to do it themselves, and then they've only got themselves to blame when they get the man that they say they wanted, Mr. Right.
or Mr. Right Now,
Oh,
and
Mr.
Mr.
Right
Next
Now. That's a
Week.
different type of client, Chris. That's the lust magic, remember? That's the Friday night, Saturday night out on the town type magic.
Oh, okay. I'm mixing those two up again, aren't I?
You are. You do that a lot.
Oh, okay. They're all the same to me, not gonna lie. It's this death to us part bollocks that if you have to keep killing them off in order to move on to the next one, then that's wrong. I don't quite agree with that.
Now, Chris, whilst we're on the subject of love magic and that, will we at any point be releasing, because I've not been working on this, but I think this is more up your street. Have you contemplated working on a twin flame kit? Because
I'm
there
sure
is
that's a
many
whole
a
separate
person out there.
podcast.
There's many people out there that are obsessed with finding their twin flame. And I'm wondering, we got that nice kind of shredded cardboard and that, because we're super eco here at the Thoth Witchcraft Shop, whether we get a candle and then just do the other end, so it's a double-ended candle, just send in a box with no fucking instructions.
Surely, you know as well as I do, you should never put candles that close together. They start to burn down the house.
Yes, but I'm just fascinated to see what the person's face would look like if they order a twin flame box. It turns up and it's beautifully packaged, and then they open it and there's just
Two candles sharing a wick.
it's just one candle. Like at school. I don't know if you ever did this in school, where you take
one candle with two wicks.
you take the rubber off the end of your pencil and you sharpen both ends. You've got a pencil at both ends. So if one of the nibs snapped, then you could just flip it over and use the other one. I'm just imagining you just send a candle, a taper candle or something like that, which is just
two
got
exposed wicks.
What you have to say is you say, whatever you do, make sure you burn the top one first, and then don't tell them which side the top is. And then if they write to complain, then you say, you do realise that if you burn the bottom one first, that'll take away all your prospects of love, don't you?
Oh dear. I totally think we should sell twin flame candles now.
Well, maybe we could get our friend Fanny Crannock to do it. That's the sort of thing she'd do.
And I think it should look like a stick of dynamite. It needs to look exactly like that.
What, like cinnamon sticks together? Yeah, that kind of... You need to put a little pocket watch or something like that on as well. Although, having said that, imagine that going through an X-ray if we're sending that to America.
Right, serious. We've got 5 more minutes left before it goes over to the Patreon lot.
Okay.
Anything else really important that we should say?
Yeah. Go to the Thoth Witchcraft Shop website, and there's all sorts of kits and tins and things that you can buy on there. And they ain't gonna come from China. There ain't loads of stuff in there full up that comes from China. There's stuff that it was all basically handmade and handcrafted and stuff. And for the person that wants to try a little bit of magic but can't really be bothered to do any research whatsoever, you could buy one of these tins, look at the little instruction booklets inside, and it is basically all there for you to have a go. Now, obviously, the whole point of our tins, like the little spellcrafting tins, was they're not really designed for you to light the candle and then just piss off. There's things kind of missing from them, isn't there? Which they have to then take the little instruction book, which explains how the spell's supposed to work from a scientific perspective, from a metaphysical perspective, physiological and psychological and energetic perspective. And then they're supposed to kind of use the basics that they've got there and add stuff that they go off and get in a little quest. So, it ain't just a case of lighting the candle a lot of the time. But if you do want to give that a go...
chintzy spell.
Sorry?
You won't find any chintzy 30-verse spell in there.
No.
They are designed for you to actually be guided through the process of casting your first spells. Like, that is the idea of them. They're supposed to be there as a hand-holding exercise for the first process. And they're not and you can categorically guarantee none of them have got Harry Potter stickers in or a list of correspondences telling you how, what you should be using. It's guiding you through actually how magic is supposed to work and how you can kind of introduce yourself to that. So, each of the boxes, particularly I'm obviously thinking of the intro range, but obviously the kind of silly £10 ones give you two options to doing those kinds of magic. So that each one of those has got two methodologies in those kind of, even those £10 ones. Obviously intro kits go further beyond that and give you a better idea of how to play with magic, and obviously are relevant to the type of magic that's listed on the box. You won't find a kind of intro starter kit on the Thoth website at all. But the reason for that is I just think, one, the big part goes back to what we said before, which is because everything is bespokely made, means that actually in order to do that, we would have to charge an actual phenomenal amount in order to do one of those big starter kits that you get from a lot of the other places. But you don't actually need that, because one of these intro kits would actually give you an idea of how magic works, and then you go and source the individual bits that you need. And let's face it, if you follow any of the stuff that we normally talk about, less is more. You don't need it to be complicated. What you need to is know exactly why you've chose all those specific items. And that's what our boxes will push you to do. Is, like Liam said, they're little puzzles for you to solve in order to create your first set of projects when you're going into this kind of craft path.
That they are. And anyway, I think that's about it. Go and buy some stuff from the Thoth Witchcraft Shop. It don't matter what it is, just buy some stuff, right? Because that stuff actually goes a long way towards funding the No Holds Barred Witchcraft podcast and all of the free stuff we do, because we do so much free. Chris, we do so much good in the world. We do a lot of good in the world that often actually counteracts the bad in the world that we've also done. So, if you're supporting the Thoth Witchcraft Shop, you are supporting making this world a better place for us. So, there we go. Have you got anything final to add? We've got 1 minute left.
I think it comes down to that. I don't think at any point are we not honest about what we do. And I think part of it is we are too honest. That actually, I don't think people realise quite how much work goes into some of the stuff that we do. I think they think this is we just pull all of this out of our arse. But,
only the really
never
good
mind.
stuff. But there we go. That's it for this episode. Goodbye.